Welcome to the Paws Between Us podcast, co-hosted by best friends Natalie
and Sacha. We're lifelong animal lovers and proud pet parents, and between us we share our lives with
lovely cats Weaver and Murray
and Betty the pug.
In each episode we'll dive into the joys and challenges of living with our furry companions, sharing honest stories, laughter and maybe sometimes a few tears.
We'll also bring in special guests to offer expert-backed tips and proven practices for keeping your pets happy, healthy and loved.
Please note, some episodes may touch on sensitive topics or contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised. So, hey Sash, how you doing? Welcome.
Hi Nat, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Not
Good.
too bad. You?
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to speaking to Kitty Sitty.
Yeah. I know it's one that's close to my heart because obviously everyone knows I've got Murray and Weaver. So I'm dead excited to kind of find out a little bit more and share with the rest of the world her advice and information. That'd be really good.
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, Amanda's got, over 30 years of experience with cats, so I'm sure you're going to learn something new, as am I. I mean, I before Betty, had a cat called Jagger, which feels like some time ago now. So I haven't had cats in my life for a while, but have always had cats, which I've talked about before. Yeah, it'd be good for me to have a little bit of a refresher to think about feline behavioural problems and, how Amanda is helping her clients to sort of, her cat clients and her human clients overcome some of those things.
Yeah, it'd be good to know, like, what's the common kind of concern. I mean, I think I'm quite lucky with Murray and Weaver. They don't seem to cause me too much trouble, though. I mean, it's funny because I talked to some other cat people on socials and their cats are getting them up in the middle of the night. They're like begging for food. They're shouting.
Oh, gosh.
I know, yeah. Mine are like, I have to drag mine out of bed sometimes. Mine are like just fit in with our lives so easily. I think I'm very lucky. Yeah, no, it'd be really good to talk to you because one of the things I've started to think more about is because they're indoor cats. You know, how to keep them entertained, how to make sure they have an enriched life and that they're not bored and like becoming too sedentary. So hopefully we'll get some tips from Amanda on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just sort of reminded me really about that waking up in the night thing when I had my cat. He had been a street cat before I adopted him. He was from Romania and he'd been injured trying to cross a busy road, I think. And then someone had handed him into a cat rescue. And he loved to wander, but he also would wake me up in the middle of the night. He'd have a habit of sort of pawing my head or trying to kind of like pat me and wanting food. So, but he didn't start to do that at the beginning. It was only sort of after a couple of years. So I don't know what changed. I don't know what was driving the behaviour at the time, but I like my sleep. I'm not very good at being woken up in the middle of the night. I mean, most of the time I went back to sleep, but sometimes I'd be like, it's 5 a.m. and now I'm not going to get to sleep. I might as well just get up. So, yeah, you just reminded me of that.
I think it's quite common from what I've heard.
Yeah, sounds like it then, doesn't it?
But yeah, no, Murray and Weaver are really good. Like, I think we have quite a routine for bed. Like, we kind of start to switch off around the same time. We have the same kind of, routine. And I think the cats just seem to kind of follow. I don't know. I've never had a problem with the cats. The only thing I had was Diaz when she got older, but I think that was due to some dementia as she got kind of old.
Yeah.
She was quite shouty, bless her. But no, otherwise I've been lucky. But yeah, it'd be great to know what Amanda is finding and how she's helping cat parents and learn a little bit and share more with you, the listeners.
Yeah, no, and I think she's got an amazing social media presence as well. So I would definitely encourage anyone who is listening today and likes what Amanda has to say to check out her socials where she also shares advice, but I'm sure she'll tell us more about that. So
great.
Shall we speak to her then? Yeah, let's go for it.
Brilliant. Right. Hello, everybody. Today we're joined, I'm so pleased, joined by Amanda from Kitty Sitty, a clinical cat behaviourist with over 30 years of experience helping cat owners understand and solve feline behavioural problems. I have seen Amanda not only on telly, but also through my socials on TikTok, and we've connected through that. She's been amazing. And what drew me in was your lovely sort of warm, non-judgmental, really encouraging approach to giving advice. And there was a little time when I was worried about something and I saw you kind of, it was about cats announcing once they've gone to the litter tray. And I was like, oh, do you know, that's made me feel so much better just hearing what you had to say, all the kind of different things around that. And I felt really reassured and thought, this is a brilliant, brilliant advice. And I wanted to follow. So thank you, Amanda, for coming on and joining us. Welcome to Paws Between Us.
Thank you very much for having me. Nice to see you both.
Yes.
Likewise.
It's lovely. So, yeah, Amanda, tell us a little bit about yourself from your point of view and your kitty family. It'd be lovely to know a little bit who's in your cat world.
Hey, well, I think you've said quite a lot about me already, and thank you for those nice words. That was lovely. I feel all fluffy and important now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, as you said, I am a clinical animal behaviourist, but I specialise in cats only, which I think there are a few of us that just specialise in cats. But for me, that is my primary drive. I'm passionate about cats. So I specialise in cat behaviour, their welfare, and also the human and cat bond as well. That's really, really important. And with my job, I work with cat parents around the globe, actually, and that is helping them better understand their cats and help them with any behaviour challenges they've got, but always in a kind and science-based way. I've got 5 cats of my own. They all were rescues, actually, from kittens, believe it or not, some of them. I've got Hugo, who you've probably seen on a lot of my videos. He's a Bengal cross. I've got 2 snow Bengals that were from the Bengal Cat Association. That's Rocco and Esker. I've got 2 ragdolls, Bueno, and the newest arrival is Nugget, and he's just 6.5 months old now. So they keep me really on my toes. And I have to say, my home is very, very cat centered, obviously, and I'm constantly learning from them every day. So I think I draw a lot of inspiration from my cats. And if I'm unsure about anything, then I go and pick up some learning and find out why they're doing something, because I think when you think that you know everything, that's the time to give up. And certainly I enjoy learning. So my cats have all got different personalities, as you can imagine. The Bengals are very different to the Ragdolls. And I don't think, regardless of breed, I don't think there's any such thing as a typical cat. Cats are all different.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've had cats all my life, and I mean, even literally since I was a baby. And they've all had different personalities. They've all kind of trade themselves in all these different ways, and they all kind of want different things in different ways. And some like petting, some don't. And you really have to, I think, take their lead on knowing what's right for them a little bit, and sort of not just kind of following a cat, kind of like, this is how a cat likes to be petted, this is how a cat likes to be fed. I've kind of like learned to adapt to them a little bit and learn them first of all. I've gone off a little bit, but tell me a little bit first of all about like what a feline clinical behaviourist is, like what that means, what you do, what you focus on.
Okay, so you work with the clients, obviously the cat parents, and a lot of the job can be counselling them through education. They may be stressed or anxious, and you try and deep dive into exactly what's going on. Now, hopefully they'd have been to the vet first to find out what it actually is going on. And the vet, if it's nothing medical, then the vet will refer to an animal behaviourist, and you pick up there. So you've got a bridge between the vet and the clients. And I think because cats are so misunderstood a lot of the time, you can help the cat parent analyse their behaviour, put in different strategies using a multimodal approach in the home that's going to benefit the cat's welfare, mentally, everything.
Yeah, I mean, you say there about like reassuring pet owners, because I'm constantly sort of like worrying if they're all right, and any sort of small change in their behaviour, I'm like, sure, something's not right here. But then, you know, I always want to read more and learn if there's anything that's going on about them, so I can sort of keep them in better health and better care and do the right thing for them.
I can help with anything, it could be inappropriate. I say inappropriate in inverted commas because it's never inappropriate for the cat. Inappropriate toileting, aggression, geriatric issues. You know, if the geriatric cat is going out of the tray and the cat parent can't understand why that's happening, well, it could be just some simple modifications to the litter tray. It could be the litter itself. Introductions as well is another big one, or stress and anxiety. You know, all of those things. it could be that there's a new baby in the home or a new pet, a new dog, and people just think that, or they could think that, well, it's okay, the new baby, it's going to be part of our family. But for a cat, it just means that their environment, the predictability of it has just changed completely, and that can be hugely stressful for the cat. So that's when you'd see symptoms. So that's really what I help parents with, and it's as much helping the parent to understand why the cat's doing what they're doing as much as it is helping the cat itself, because I think if a cat parent can understand the why, then they don't see it as the cat's being naughty or spiteful. And during the process of engaging with a client, there's obviously the clinical history that comes from the vet referral itself, but then there's also a really, really deep dive into the antecedents of the cat and a targeted questionnaire of, for example, if it's spraying, all the right relevant questions that I'd want to know. What could be the cause of the cat spraying? Is there another new cat in the neighbourhood? Is the cat stressed? Have they got enough resources in the home? That sort of thing.
Yeah. Go on, Sash.
So on that, with the introduction piece, you just touched on that a moment ago, and you said that, I think, is it Nugget? Your newest
Nugget.
cat? Yeah. So what have you done to introduce Nugget to the rest of the family? Because it sounds like you have a lot of cats, which is wonderful, but how do they take to a new arrival, and how has Nugget found meeting all your other cats?
That's a great question, and I'll probably go off at a tangent here, because what was really funny, I had Bueno, he came when he was 9 months old. And I thought, this is going to be brilliant, because I can create content to show cat parents in real time exactly how long and how strategic an introduction plan needs to be. So I set myself up. I did, the non-visual introductions first, and then we went on to the visual introductions quite quickly, because there was no aversive behaviour shown by my resident cats. And within an hour and a half, he was in with all the others. I was absolutely gutted, because I thought, I just knew it was ready. I didn't force anything. I could just tell by the other cats. They were so welcoming and curious and displaying all the signs that were telling me that we were ready to move on. So it's not something that I would suggest is normal. I think maybe because my cats have been used to having some cats in the house, some kittens, when I've taken in an emergency foster care. But also when my son came to live with me a couple of years ago, he brought 2 adult female cats with him. Now, I knew from the get-go I never wanted them to get on with my other cats. I was always going to keep them separately. And organically, with the odd accident of a cat coming upstairs, and that probably took within 10 months. And then all of the cats were, again, really cohabiting really well. And that's something that I never set out to do. And I think what I learned from that, Sacha, was take the pressure off yourself when it comes to introducing cats to other cats. It might take a long time. It may be very quick, but it's as long as you are cat-led, there won't be any mistakes. I had a lovely message from a vet, actually, that I helped. She got in touch this morning, and I probably helped her about 6 months ago. And it was introducing 2 cats into her life, into each other's life. And she messaged this morning to say, fantastic, we're now probably at 10 months and the cats are cohabiting really well. Really pleased I followed your advice. And it just shows how much cats need time. And if you take the time it takes with them, it actually takes less time.
I also think it takes a good cat mum as well to build that bond. Do you know what I mean? Like your lovely nature and your interest in them and your just genuineness, care towards them surely helps them come along as a team as well, do you think, or not?
I think anyone can do that. I think if they understand their cats and are cat-led and are compassionate about their cats, and they don't think that cats are small dogs, because if you introduce a dog to another dog, generally it'll be tails wagging, they'll be spinning, they'll be so excited, and they'll want to go and play. Whereas if you do it with another cat, they're so territorial, that's going to be a failed introduction from the start. And that's why the very, very first steps of an introduction are non-visual, and you just scent swap. And that is crucial, because once you get what I would call a negative interaction, and that could be them seeing the cats before they've actually had chance to get used to the smell or even hear them in the home, that could be negative, because then they're going to think that they've got an imposter in their environment.
Right.
So with scent swapping then, how do you do that? Do you take a little bit of the cat's bed, or like what is it that you have to do to get that scent swapping going?
Well, there's different things that you can do.
Yeah.
One thing that I tend to always do is have the blanket, for example.
Right.
If the cat doesn't sleep on a blanket, I'd say, okay, start putting the resident cat and the new cat on a towel or something, or even a t-shirt that you've worn in bed for a couple of days. So that way your scent is going to be immersed onto the both cats, and then you'd swap that over.
Right.
And then once both cats are actually engaging with that surface, as in they're going on the bed and they don't seem reluctant to use the bed, you know that they've accepted that scent, and that could keep going for days or weeks, however long it takes. Another top trick is to put a little sports sock or an ankle sock on your hand, and then literally use it as a glove and wipe up the cat's mouth and swap it over to the other cat, and then put that sock in the bed. Cat attractants such as valerian or silver vine can be helpful, but never catnip, because in a multi-cat home, I think I've said to you before, Natalie, catnip can be really not the type of cat attractant that you want, because it is a stimulant, and that can exacerbate any sort of behaviour that we don't want to see.
Yeah. Actually, just something that came up this morning, I was talking to somebody about catnip and kittens. Is it right that you shouldn't really use catnip with young kittens, or is that a sort of
No, you can try catnip with kittens, but they haven't developed the receptors that will be affected by the catnip. And it's only a certain percentage of cats that actually will be receptive to catnip as well. So not every cat will like catnip, or Nepeta cateria is its posh name, because there are different variants of catnip as well. So I think always go for valerian, silver vine, gall fruit, Tartarian, honeysuckle. Go for the calming, soporific types of cat attractants. They're great to put in different puzzle feeders and forage boxes for your cats.
Oh, because I've got some valerian root pouches as well as just the regular catnip toys that they have. Actually, I didn't realise there was a difference in their sort of the way they'll change their behaviour. So that's useful to know. What are some of the most common behavioural issues that people come to you about then?
Definitely introductions. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Aggression. That could be cat to cat aggression or cat to human aggression. Anxiety, that could be from loud noises, separation anxiety. Every case is different. I mentioned, the introductions, new babies in the home, other pets, obesity, boredom, stress-related behaviours, or pica, where the cat's eating random objects that aren't of any nutritional benefit. Over grooming, obviously that would come under the anxiety umbrella potentially. So those seem to be the most common ones that I get. And most of my client base, you'll find this funny to know, seem to be Bengals and Ragdolls.
Oh, I know Bengals are dead chatty. And I know Ragdolls seem to have a lot of stomach problems. I don't know if that's true in reality, but
they can be really sensitive in the GI. So again, it's about that's obviously more of a medical question that a vet would rule out first. But it's the same with any foods that you're going to be giving to your cat or your dog. You introduce it slowly over a period of several days so it doesn't cause any gastric upset.
Yeah. Is it true that Bengals are the more talkative ones?
They are certainly very, very vocal, and Rocco will be screaming at me very, very soon. If I'm up in the office a bit too long, he'll be letting me know. So they've got a very distinct piercing meow. Like Siamese are very vocal as well, and toy. Yeah, so there are breeds that are very vocal, but certainly Bueno's very vocal. If I'm outside, he'll run out into the catio and then start shouting at me to come and walk round the corner so I can see him and give him some cat mint from the garden. He's really vocal too.
And have you seen any changes over the years in behavioural challenges? Or any sort of things that sort of have kind of evolved over time? You think I'm starting to see more trends now towards certain types of behaviours, or is it a real mix of things?
It's still a real mix, but I think that I get a lot more of the designer breeds having problems.
Okay.
So it's not the breed itself that's having the problem per se, but people will think, oh, I've seen this celebrity with a Sphinx cat, or this celebrity with a Bengal cat, and it's like having a little leopard in the house, and they have them and they don't understand the welfare, the needs that they have. Or Scottish fold, for example. There's celebrities that have Scottish fold cats, munchkin cats. I mean, the list goes on about these designer breeds, and it really makes me sad because some of them have got their own genetic unfortunate disorders anyway. But then when you pair that with lack of education by the cat parent who's having the cats, that's when you have a real problem. And hopefully someone like myself or the vet can certainly step in and help those people then. So we saw a lot of different type of behaviours after COVID. Cats weren't habituated to seeing visitors come in the home. So because they didn't have exposure to all different people, they could be very reactive to different noises and certainly people coming to the home. So a lot more aggression. And then, of course, when people went back to work, then the anxiety then also impacted the cat's lifestyle.
You've mentioned a few times cat aggression. I personally have never had an aggressive cat. I don't know if I've just been lucky, but I have heard friends who've had quite aggressive cats and always been scared of the cat. What's coming from that? Why would cats be aggressive? What normally kind of sparks that off? Besides the illness, obviously.
Yeah, so obviously the first differential would be refer to the vet and get the vet to check for any pain or any underlying health conditions. That is really important. After that, generally, if a cat has been adopted as to hand rear, or it hasn't had maternal habituation, then the mum cat hasn't really taught the cat or the kitten at that time boundaries, manners, and how to behave appropriately. It doesn't learn bite inhibition from its siblings, its litter mates. So that can very often, that will be a cause for cat to owner aggression. It could be redirected aggression. So if, for example, territorial cat is looking through the window and it sees another cat in its outside environment that the resident cat thinks, assumes that that's their environment, they get frustrated, and then they could take out their frustration on the cat parent. I had a client that he had, I think it was a Bengal or a Toiger or something like that, and the cat, every time another human came up to the door and rang the doorbell, the cat would actually launch to the owner. And, this poor owner had to go to hospital several times because of the lacerations and the puncture wounds. So that was fixed by a lot of counter conditioning and training, but also we used film, an opaque film up against the window partially for a short period to try and retrain this cat. But what was really funny that he actually then learned the sound of the doorbell, and then he would climb up to get a view so he could then do it. So it was, but it was fixed. He was all happy. And again, that's another happy client that is in regular touch with me now and still lets me know that the cat's okay and it's all solved.
So you've also obviously mentioned your cats sound like they're indoor cats, because you talked about a catio. Obviously mine, I've got ragdolls, mine are indoor cats as well. And I've been quite being made more and more aware recently about boredom and making sure there's plenty of enrichment for them. So what should we look out for as cat owners with indoor cats? What does boredom look like? What should we be looking for, and how could we kind of improve their life?
Well, boredom in cats can look really, really different, and that can depend on the individual. So some cats could become destructive, hyperactive, and you could see over-grooming, attention-seeking, overeating or not eating at all, repetitive, stereotypic behaviours. We've all seen the videos of the tigers walking up and down. So performing strange little rituals. All of these could indicate that the cat is bored. And then, of course, you could have the ambushing of ankles or becoming more reactive, simply because they don't have enough appropriate outlets for play and hunting behaviours. And Sacha, going back to the previous question, you said, has there been any other changes that I've seen in clients and behaviour? I think we generally, as a nation, I think we are going more towards having indoor cats. So it's really important then to think about the outlets that these cats need in the home. You've got to support not only the physical health, but also the mental health as well. And if you don't, that's when behavioural problems will arise.
Yeah, because I get quite conscious. Sometimes I worry, like, are they sleeping too much? Is that a problem? I know cats do sleep and they like to nap all the time, but like, do I need to get them moving? Is that something we should be looking out for if they're oversleeping? Is that a thing?
That's a great question. A cat will sleep for about 16 hours a day. So I think rather than just let them sleep the whole day away, they probably could then become more active at night, and you don't want them to be more active at night. So a great way if you to try and get to interact is have predictable playtimes for your cats. So I mean, if you're going to do it once at 4 o'clock, then do it at 4 o'clock every day, because the cats know, they soon learn what a predictable timetable is, and that is really going to help them feel secure, and they'll be waking up ahead of the scheduled playtime. So I think engaging with your cats, and it isn't always about waving a wand in the air. It could be using puzzle feeders, using forage boxes, and switching up a timetable. For anyone who's got children, they'll know that a toddler gets really, really bored if you leave your toys out all the time. So putting the toys away all the time and then bringing new toys out every day and having a different activity every day would be really good. So, for example, on a Monday, you could have a tunnel out. Don't leave a tunnel out all the time, because then the cats get bored of that. Bring it out and let them run around and appreciate it, because when they see it the following Monday, they're going to think, wow, this is brilliant. This is a new great toy, and I can play ambushing and darting and hiding. So yeah, it would be very easy, Natalie, to think, oh, my cat's asleep, I'll leave it to sleep all day, because then the cat wouldn't be getting any interaction with you. But it's a fine line between disturbing a sleeping cat as well.
Yeah. No, I love the idea of changing it up and not having everything out, because currently we've floor is covered in toys, thinking they'll pick them up when they want. But I'm going to try that actually and hide some stuff away and bring different ones out different days. And then maybe, that's a really good tip. Thank you.
I even do a generic timetable for my cat clients so that they can then fill in the blanks. But I give them some ideas, and using those cat attractants that I meant, not in terms of necessarily catnip. Everyone thinks about catnip, but using that, because that can be fun for a cat too. And think about textures. So water play, you can buy freeze-dried sprats, which are lovely and smelly, but you could hide those. The cat doesn't necessarily have to eat them, but it's great for a scent trail, because cats have got fantastic noses. So why not do scent work with your cats? Do food pattern games with your cats. We do them for dogs. Why shouldn't we do them for cats? And a lot of my toys that I put in, and I say toys, could be puzzle games, puzzle feeders, are for dogs.
Right.
So think outside the cat specific toy box really as well.
That, I mean, I don't have cats. I did when I was, throughout my life when I was younger. But I know, like my dog, she resource guards her toys. She gets a bit jealous if other dogs go near her toys. Do cats get like that as well, or are they happy to share? Because I don't know, it's a silly question, but can they get quite possessive? Yeah.
Yeah, cats resource guard.
Oh, wow.
Normally, it could be over a cat tower, a favourite resting spot. It could even be you as the caregiver. So, and the signs of this is, and people actually think, oh, the cat's being dominant. Well, there's no such thing as dominance in cat hierarchy whatsoever. It's just that one cat will have a desire to have something more than the other cat. And that's when you'll see one cat push another cat off the cat tree because they want it more than the other one. And then the other cat will actually give up their place. But the way to, obviously, you can't make two of you, but the way to ensure that you can limit resource guarding is by having two of everything. And if you've got more cats, then obviously don't just have one cat tree, you're going to need two. And this is where it comes to thinking about vertical space for your cat, because you don't have to buy a bigger house. You could actually just extend the cat's environment by thinking vertically. And that's why there's so many fantastic cat platforms, trees that you can put in. And some of them are space saving too, the floor to ceiling ones. So I've got a plethora of cat trees and everything in my home. Obviously, having 5 cats, I've got to make sure that all of their welfare needs are met and they've all got their own little places.
Aww.
So I tend to get resource guarded. So if one cat's on my knee, I'll generally see that, and I can't make another one of me, so I have to try and distract them.
I was just about to ask that. I was thinking you only have one lap. So if all 5 decide to descend on you at the same time for a cuddle, that could get interesting.
It does sometimes. So we have to make sure that they all have their quiet, independent time as well, so they don't get jealous. Cats don't get morally jealous like we do, but they do feel jealousy.
Oh, it's really cute at the moment because I can, Sacha, I can hear Betty snoring, and then you've got your kitty with you, Amanda. Now everyone's got their little cat.
Hopefully, if you do hear anything, it won't be me snoring. It'll be Hugo purring.
And on that, how do you build a bond with your cat? So say you've adopted a new cat, or you've got a new cat in your life. Clearly,
kissing Hugo.
Yeah, there's lots of love and attention you can give your cat. But is there anything specific that people can do to sort of build that close bond, or does it just happen naturally?
Well, you can certainly help it. I mean, yes, it can happen over time, but cats bond through the trust, the predictability of their routine. And I mentioned it earlier, being cat-led. Don't overwhelm your cat. Some cats don't want to come and sit on your lap. They're not lap cats. Some cats don't want to be picked up. The more you try and bond with your cat, it can actually have the opposite effect. It can actually push them away. So cats really need to feel that they have control of their autonomy, their environment. That's really important. So, and people think sometimes that affection is the only form of bonding, but some cats can show affection just by sitting next to you, by slow blinking, by lying next to you, exposing their belly. That's all affection. Even if they turn their back on you, that's affection, because it shows that they trust you. Whereas some cat parents would perhaps think, oh, my cat's being really rude. It's showing, because in our culture, it's really rude, isn't it, if you turn your back on someone? But for a cat, it's the opposite. It's, I really trust you. You've got my back. So take it as a compliment.
Amanda, you mentioned there like the autonomy, because my vibe of bringing my cats up is to give them as much autonomy as possible, because I just feel that deep respect for them as another being. But I know the opposite is for dogs, where actually they like training and you've got to kind of like give them rules a little bit to kind of have that sort of pecking order and not a pack mentality. Am I doing the right thing, feeling that way about my cats, or is there something more I should be doing?
Sorry, in what way there, Natalie?
So like giving them autonomy, giving them the choices,
right.
and letting them decide kind of to a lot of degree, because I even do that with food as well, feeding.
Absolutely. Just stick to timetables. You know, feed them at regular, predictable times.
Yeah.
What you could do is give them choices of how they want to engage and have their food. Say to a lot of people, bin the bowl. I'm not a fan of bowls at all for feeding cats. I like to make them work for the food.
Yeah.
That's a great thing for obesity as well, because yes, if you are free feeding, that's a mouthful, free feeding kibble, yes, it is out there, but they've got to work for it. So they've got to engage, and part of foraging is a natural behaviour for cats too. So I think, yes, allow them to do what they want to do, but at least invite them to play and have those special times with you, rather than just think, oh, they're just sleeping, I'll let them do what they want. It's good to have a timetable in the day, because that does make them feel, you know, safe and secure.
Yeah, I really like that term, cat-led. I mean, I know it's an established term, but as a principle, I think it's, you know, brilliant.
It's really important, especially when it comes to affection. And very often cat parents want to bestow all the affection on the cat. And, you know, oh, this is my new cat, my new kitten. I want to pick it up. I want to cuddle it. I want to, you know, we want to, like you've just heard me kissing Hugo, but he was head bunting me, which is his language, that he wants to have that interaction, and he's jumped up on my knee. I haven't picked him up and put him there. So I think that's another thing, is just be aware and always think of consent. That's another buzzword in cat terms now, but it's quite crucial that let the cat decide what they want. And you'll actually get more from your cat than less.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because I've my two cats now. I really want cuddles from them, but Weaver is very cuddly and will come and sit on my lap. Murray is the opposite. If I want to stroke his head, I have to let him sniff my hand first, and then he'll let me stroke him. Whereas Weaver, I can pick up, kiss, and do everything. She's fine. So I've learned over the years with them that they're very different, and I have to be patient and, you know, lead by Murray, him telling me what he needs.
Oh, it's the same with Bueno. He seems to be, you can't just go and stroke his head. You always have to offer your hand, like you've just said, and let him sniff, and then he'll rub up against your hand. And that would, I think that's a great equivalent of a handshake for us humans. So I think if everybody gives their cat an outreached hand and see how the cat reacts, and if they want to engage, they will, you'll soon know. And if they don't, or they walk away, then they're not wanting to engage at that moment in time. And it doesn't mean that they don't like you. It's just, they are just being their own person, as you said.
Yeah. Some people are cuddlers, some people are handshakers, some people are kisses on cheeks.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's the same for cats. Exactly. And I don't think ragdolls particularly. I've got hair up my nose now off Hugo. I don't think ragdolls particularly are big lap cats, but I think they like to sit next to you. I think they're very wanting to be close to you.
Yeah.
My Bengals are all over me. They always want to sit on my lap, which sort of, you'd think it was the other way round, really. And then Hugo, you know, he's always on my lap. But again, it's his choice.
Well, people do talk about ragdolls as being like super like attentive, really cuddly, and like floppy cats. My two ragdolls are nothing like that. I had one before that absolutely was, but these two aren't. And again, I've adapted and learned from them,
giving them the best life possible.
I'm just a new ragdoll parent, aren't I? So I'm finding all this out now as we go along. Thank you very much.
Oh, I love my ragdolls.
I've learned that you can't go to the toilet on your own with a ragdoll.
No.
Oh, wow. I'm learning this as well. I haven't heard this before.
They are little shadows. I did a little video of Murray trying to push in through the toilet door the other day. I was like, oh, bless you. Come in. Come on.
So do they follow you everywhere then?
Yes.
Yeah. Weaver is my shadow for sure.
Okay.
Murray's a bit more independent, but Weaver. And actually, Amanda, it's really funny as well, because I definitely think there's a difference between girls and boys It's particularly my rag dolls. Like Weaver has got so much personality. She is funny. She's silly. She interacts with us in very much different way. Murray to me is very kind of one level. He's a little love boy, or he's kind of like, I'll be on my own, or I love you. But Weaver's just got so much personality. And my other cat was a bit like that, my Persian. I don't know if that's just me, but I don't know. What do you think to that?
I think it is down to the personality. I've had some female cats that are really, really affectionate, and others that are really quite aloof.
Okay.
So I do think it's down to personality rather than gender.
The gender, right?
I was just going to ask the one bit of advice that you wish every cat owner knew that you'd like to share.
I think I'd say be cat-led, because I've said that a few times. Always try and see the world from your cat's perspective. And just remember that cats have behavioural and emotional needs that are just as important as food and veterinary care for them. And all these implementations of everything positive for a cat can have a huge difference to their welfare. So small environmental changes, I mentioned the perches and things like that, can make a huge difference to a cat's life.
Yeah. Oh, I could talk to you all day about this. It's just so fascinating to me. And I suppose I've not come to the end, but I wanted to thank you for all the information you're sharing, not only on socials, because, you're giving so much away for free for people to have better lives and for cats to have better lives with their pet parents. So it's just an amazing thing you're doing, just sharing all of this with the world. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I started that. I don't think of myself as a content creator by any means. I never wanted to be a content creator. I wanted to be an educator. And I wanted to put all of my years of knowledge to help other cat parents. And where better to reach them? The new cat parents of tomorrow, we're going to get them on social platforms. And I'm a mid-century, modern aged woman on TikTok. I mean, crikey, what's that all about? But I really tried to learn the platform so I could deliver good content. And yeah, it's definitely got better. I think the first few videos were horrific, but it's important, I think, if somebody gets a kitten or a cat, that they've got somewhere to go, because not everybody wants to look at Google, and there is so much misinformation out there as well. It's important because this is a non-regulated industry, so anyone can call themselves a cat behaviourist, a dog behaviourist, anyone can call themselves a vet nurse. It's a non-regulated title. So it is important that, at least if I'm getting positive, science-based, fear-free information out there, that maybe people will watch it and think, oh, okay, so that's why you shouldn't put food next to your cat's water, or no, we shouldn't be scruffing cats now, or even, advising them on looking out for a feline friendly vet as well. Advocate for your cat and pick a vet that is feline friendly.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Is it just about asking the vet the right questions, or is it seeing if they've got the right info on their website, or how do you kind of gauge whether your vet is feline friendly?
You can go on to International Cat Care,
Right.
ISFM, and you can find a directory there of all of the cat-friendly clinics.
Okay.
Generally, a cat-friendly clinic will display a logo on their website or on the door, and they'll all have varying awards, which means that they've achieved certain standards in feline welfare. And that could even be from the fact they have separate waiting rooms, the fact that they treat the cats with respect, and they've all passed certain courses, and they've got a certain amount of knowledge that are going to help your cat when your cat goes to the vet. Because going to the vet, I don't know about you, but going to the vet with an animal is, I used to get so stressed about it, let alone my cat getting stressed, and then we'd be bouncing off each other. Whereas now, I plan it plenty of time ahead, and it's almost a treat now when I go. I love to meet my vet team when I go. They're fantastic. The cats they lock the door, and the cats have free roaming around the clinic room, and they really think it's a great treat. And I'll actually take them there, even when one doesn't have to go, but one does. I'll take a few along, so it's just a positive experience for them. But that's how you find a feline friendly vet. And of course, there are cat only clinics that are popping up around the country now as well.
That would be good.
Yeah, I mean, Nat and I can talk all day, can't we, about our experiences at the vets with our cats and, well, Nat's cats and my dog, because I think, yeah, we completely agree.
So
it's
stressful
all round. And the more we get stressed, the more they get stressed, and then we get more stressed. It's this like vicious circle. And I have seen a difference when I've intentionally tried to be a lot more relaxed. So was my dog, but it's really easy to get stressed because, say, if there's a cat in the same waiting room, my dog gets very, very agitated, and it all can go a bit wrong, can't it? So, yeah.
I know. I'd like to do
There are
more
methods that you can use, and certainly I've done lots of videos on this because again, it's not necessarily the most engaging to watch, but if somebody is taking the cat to the vet and they think, okay, well, how do I make a cat visit to the vet stress-free? Then they can go and watch that content. Again, my content isn't about numbers or views. It's about providing day-to-day living support for feline cats, parents, and just making sure that we can help them really just by prior planned preparation. They can have a much more positive experience when it comes to vet trips.
Definitely look them up, I think. I definitely need some help
and
there.
Also, when you come back from the vet, because if you've got more than one cat and you just bring your cat from the vet, you can get some sort of non-recognition aggression as well. So that's something else that I've helped with before, and people don't think about that. So there's before the vet visit and after the vet visit videos to watch. So that'll give you something to watch at bedtime.
This is really interesting because, coming to the final question, because I never knew about behaviourists for cats. So because it never seemed like a thing, like cats I always feel get sort of left behind. There's lots of stuff to support dogs. So if people are interested in either getting your help or looking for a professional, what's the best way they could do about it? How could they get in touch either with you or learning more about the sector and kind of where other support might be?
Well, first and foremost, I think for behaviour support, you've got to go to your vet first and get vet referral. If it's what we would call first aid advice, so if that's introducing a new cat to the home or things like that, then you don't need vet referral, but that would be down for a clinical animal behaviourist to guide you on that. So you need to look for qualified science-based professionals who use kind and welfare-based focus methods. Going to the APBC or the ABTC, they have a register of everybody who is suitably qualified, and they have been tested with the breadth and depth of knowledge. So you can be sure that you're getting a reputable professional, because the services aren't cheap. So in fact, I think I'd be more cautious if somebody was charging cheap prices, because would they be qualified? I think not. And you do want to look for those clinical credentials as well. Anybody can get hold of me via the website, which is www.kittysitty.net, and that's city with an S. And of course, on all my social platforms, YouTube, and people can reach out on here for guidance, support, and behaviour education. I do regular lives. I also do a live on cats.com once a month. And that's on their YouTube channel. And then the Cat Show Live, of course, they've got the Cat Club, and they're doing lots of educational behaviour clinics on there, which are live. I've got 2 of those coming up. So there's always something somewhere that somebody can reach out and get help, and I'll help and advice.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That's brilliant. So yeah, get in touch. Go and seek out Kitty Sitty if you need any advice, and follow some of her content, and hopefully can help. Thanks so much for that, Amanda. It's a brilliant chat. Thank you so much for all your interesting insights and advice there. We've got so much to share, and it's just been so useful, and been brilliant to have you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you coming on and speaking to us.
You're welcome. I've enjoyed it, and lovely to meet you both. And hopefully people who will be listening to this will pick up some hints and tips as well and make their cats happy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.